From champs to chumps, Peterhead were in party mode, but Clyde did not invite them to the party. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. Some big games this weekend, but who cares? Biggest game of them all. Clyde beating the Scottish League 2 champions, Peterhead, by 6 goals to 1. We had Hearts getting back to winning ways. We had St Johnstone pretty much getting relegated. We had St Mirren beating the most overrated team in the league, and we had a little boring, meaningless draw in the Old Firm match on Sunday. Lots to talk about.
Aye, and also the title decider in the championship on Friday. Kind of just glossed over that,
Friday was a long time ago.
But Saturday wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. 6-1 Clyde against Peterhead. Didn't see this coming.
No, Peterhead literally, I think, may have been partying and obviously hungover and not a good look here, is it? I think the fans are probably let them away with it. I don't think the manager will be too upset they are going up, but pretty embarrassing result here in the end, losing 6-1 to a run of the mill mundane Clyde
team that ain't that good, right? East 5-2, Elgin City 2. Dick Campbell ends the season a happy man.
He does. Dick Campbell ends with a win.
Is he too good for League 2? I'd say he is.
Can he take them up? We'll have to wait and see.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, but I think he's
playoffs.
still...
Will we see East 5 go up?
Are we 0-0 here?
It's crazy how the mighty fallen, isn't it? Dick Campbell was on the verge of being a Premiership manager.
Now he's League 2.
Mm-hmm. Well, it could be League 1 next year.
He could be. 0-0 here. Strudor get beat 1-0 by Borefest.
Falkirk, that he means. Falkirk, Stirling Albion, gives those teams some respect.
Who is it again? Falkirk, Stirling Albion?
Forfar, Stirling Albion?
He said Falkirk, mate. I've already addressed it.
At least I attempted to get their names correct.
I said 0-0.
Aye, moved on like it didn't matter.
Well, does it? Does it matter?
It mattered to 995 people in attendance, I'll let you know.
The highest viewed game in the...
Spfl Pyramid.
No, League 2.
Aye, that's plenty, obviously. Right, so now Borefest Rose 1, which Borefest needed. They needed to win to have a chance of staying up. But we'll look at the table in a minute. Then Spartans defeated Edinburgh City by 3 goals to 1. So, aye. Let's have a
look at this league table.
Yeah, so unfortunately Borefest Rose needed to win. They got the win, but they also needed Forfar to lose, and in the end Forfar got a draw. So Borefest Rose level on points, but goal difference puts them in to that relegation playoff. Just unlucky. I think got 6 points deducted during the season, so they can feel slightly, aggrieved, I guess.
Look at the top of the league. 12 goal difference for the league champions. That's pretty. I think that's unheard of.
That is pretty piss poor, to be fair.
I know they conceded 6 there.
Yeah, but even then,
even then, it's weird, isn't it?
East 5 far superior goal difference, and more than double in terms of the plus column. And not often you see that. Normally, the team that's got the better goal difference is the team that's been by far better. It's like, look at Celtic and Rangers. Celtic have been far better, and the goal difference proves it. I'm not saying East 5 have been far better than Peterhead, but
they definitely scored.
But you know what? It is pretty overall. Even the teams that got minus, it's not that much in it. It goes to show you that League 2 is pretty competitive, and I think anybody can beat anybody. Also, if you look at the points gap, I would argue this must be the closest league in the entire league from the points difference between the champions and the 10th place team. Has to be.
30 points, I'd say so. So let's test that theory. Let's go into League 1. Aden Athletic 2. Cove Rangers 4.
Also, I believe it's East Kilbride that's playing Borefest Rose in the playoffs.
What about the other teams? Or is it they already have?
East Kilbride have beaten them, man.
I've heard no mention yet. I thought I would have been told. Right, 415 people.
By who?
The Highland.
Maybe the reception in the West Wing isn't great these days.
So you got it.
I'm in the East. Anyway, right, Aden Athletic 2, Cove Rangers 4.
What about that attendance? Is that no bogging?
Yeah, it is, but you know what? Respect them. I wouldn't want to watch that game.
But it's League 1, it's a step up. It's the lowest viewed game so far. That's a team. That's a team with a good attendance.
Yeah, final game of the season. What do you think? Maybe people would show up. Yeah, Arbroath 1, Queen of the South 1. Decent amount there showing up. Over 2,000 at Green Fair City Stadium at Gayfield.
What a name that is. Right, Kelty Hearts 2-1 against Alwa Athletic 8-5-4.
Double dose of the W's for Hearts this week. Kelty and Midlothian there
I
getting
like to see it.
Getting the wins.
Montrose 0, Inverness 2. No real surprise there. And then our final game, Stinnesmuir 2-1 against Dumbarton. So let's see. How many points between top and bottom then? I'm going to go with 43.
I'll go 45.
Actually, hold on. I just realised it was bottom.
Ooh, 44.
It was 1.5.
I said 45, you're 2.
Oh, I forgot. Hold on, that's pretty good though. No, but I said it and then clocked on, oh fuck Dumbarton, or like, got 4 points to their name. So I think we did pretty well there. But there is your final.
I mean, it was literally 1.5 anyway. Yeah. Arbroath win it. Yeah, Dumbarton had a points deduction, didn't they? So
Yep, so did Inverness. So Inverness would have finished second.
Dumbarton got 15.
Yep, still would have finished bottom.
Yeah, but they would have been within 29 points.
They would have.
Anyway, I'd say...
It doesn't feel like that though, doesn't it not?
No, it feels like Dumbarton would be absolutely shite.
Yeah, but that's weird. Alright, championship.
But even the goal difference, not a lot in it, not a lot between the highest goal difference and the lowest goal difference.
Absolutely not, right. Airdrie 0, Ayr United 1.
You know what? Airdrieonians had a good run and they got themselves into a good position, but it's almost like when it actually came down to crunch time, they kind of just fell away. Now, is that partly because of what happened to Hamilton?
Well, it's not really crunch time then, is it?
Well, no, but they got themselves into a position where you genuinely believed that they could get out of relegation, but then after that, I think the last 4 games they failed to win a match.
It's almost like they were like, you know what? Why put any more effort into this season? Just put it into the playoffs. That's what it felt like to me.
Maybe, but anyway, they did great to get themselves into a position where they could survive, and then they kind of just fell off over the last few games. But I mean, they're going to have a playoff spot against. They'll be in the semi-finals because it doesn't work the same as it does the Premiership to Championship. So obviously, there's more chance of them losing. I mean, that's a much fairer way to do it. I wish the Premiership done that, but obviously the Premiership lasts a few games longer, and that's why it's done that way. But
you know what?
They could rearrange that with the fixture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You could have one less week of the Premiership and push the other 3 leagues back a couple of weeks.
Aye.
Like they played, these leagues play for the international breaks.
Yeah, they could give them a week off.
Yeah, so it's not this. It's
not like it has to be that way just to try and get the fixture scheduled, but whatever. Ayr beat Airdrieonians. It's a win for Ayr. They had a disappointing end of the season, didn't they? Just completely collapsed into third place obscurity.
That's it. You would take third place obscurity.
Probably would.
Right.
Yeah, third's no bad depending on what league you're in.
Falkirk 3, Hamilton 1. Scott Robinson made a few arses collapse, but they got there in the end.
Yeah, a shitey Ethan Ross free kick gave Falkirk the equaliser, and then Ethan Ross, Calvin Miller in the second half.
Straight in the middle, wasn't it?
Yeah, goalkeeper should do better than that, shouldn't he? Anyway, Falkirk getting the job done in the end. You know what? I'm a wee bit sad for Martindale, but I think Falkirk deserved the win. Overall, I mean, if you have to look at the teams, who was better, Falkirk and Livy? And if you want to throw in Ayr there, who was better? I think it was clearly Falkirk, just because they seemed to go off the rails a wee bit over the last few games. And they ended up, well, not level in points with Livy, but they ended up level in points going into the final game. I still think Falkirk are the worthy winners.
No, I agree. And I think with Falkirk, I've got faith in them of staying up next year because I think John McGlynn played good football. And I think if you can sign Premiership-proven players, they can be a real good team. I just think with Livy, I think even if Livy go up, I can just see Livy going straight back down.
Well, I can see Falkirk going straight back down as well.
No, I think if they sign the correct players, I know that may sound like obvious, obviously if they sign the correct, but I think if they sign some decent players, Falkirk, they'll stay up just due to the style. But 3-1, good game, brilliant. Right, Greenock
you could argue that style won't work on the Premier League.
You could argue that. Greenock Morton, they won't be in the Premier League, but they did beat Dunfermline 2-0. I don't know, I feel, do you think Neil Lennon's going to keep the Dunfermline job? He's not really done a lot. Seems like there's been a lot of draws and defeats in there. Like, yeah, he's kept them up, but...
I mean, he's kept them up, but how much of that has been down to that Hamilton points deduction? Queen's Park being absolutely garbage, and Airdrie just,
being that far behind when he took over anyway.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think the results have been that great.
No, neither do I. That's what I say.
They've probably been passable for the a team in a relegation battle, but it's not like he's come in and put distance between Dunfermline and the other teams. That's not happened.
No, he's not done that. 2-0 by Greenock Morton, pretty poor. Livy 0, Partick Thistle 1. So it all went wrong for Livy in the 49th minute.
It did, and Partick getting the win. And I mean, what a hammer blow this is for Raith Rovers. Raith Rovers in the end, spoiler, they won convincingly. They done enough in terms of goal difference. I mean, I think they won. They done enough that if Partick, because of goal difference, they done enough that if Partick drew, then they would have got the 4th spot instead. But unfortunately for them, Livingston at home, needing to win to have a chance at the title, completely fucked it up, didn't they? Macaulay Tate own goal. Yeah, I feel bad for Raith Rovers, but you know what? Livy done well at the end of the season, but this is always going to be a tough game. Both teams needing to win. Partick holding on to 4th. But playoffs, these two teams could meet again.
They probably will meet again.
You think Partick will beat Ayr?
Yeah, I think Partick, the form is with Partick. But Queen's Park got pumped 5-1, and the man that put Rangers at the Scottish Cup got a consolation prize here.
Right, big Seb Drods.
Queen's
Park have been dross, though, haven't they, since that Rangers game?
Raith will feel a wee bit hard done by. There's your final championship table. So, yeah, I mean, I think the fact that Dunfermline, right, finished level on points with Queen's Park just sums up how shite they really are. Because they were ahead of them.
No, definitely, so.
Then you've got Airdrie, that's 6 points behind. And then Hamilton, you add their 15 points on, they actually finished 7th, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, they'd be ahead of Dunfermline, so.
Pretty unlucky at the top. You know what? Do you think we could see a team come up through the playoff, or is it all over?
Not too sure. I mean, I think we've got a good batch of teams. I believe that this is the first year in a long time where I think there's a good chance we'll see 2 teams for the championship in the Premiership next season. Look at Ross County; they're in free fall. I think we all accept they're probably going to finish 11th. I think Livingston have a good chance of beating Ross County.
No, it's actually kind of funny. See this season in the Premier League, which we're moving on to, Premiership.
Well, here,
I'd say pretty much every team apart from Celtic is at one point being in free fall.
No, probably, but here, Partick last season were 3-0 up against Ross County, weren't they? And that was a better Ross County team than the team we have now.
Aye, I'd say so. And then the arse went though.
So I mean, I'm thinking that we could see it happening, but who knows?
Right, Rangers won, Celtic won. Nick Walsh, a tifo that pissed off quite a few people.
A couple of decisions that pissed off a few people as well.
I did, but overall, man, this game was poor. I think this game, right?
I've seen people say, "Oh, exciting, great games." Like, what were they watching?
No, I think this game sums up how 4 Old Firms a season and just 4 games against the same team a season. It's getting old. It's getting very stale. It is. I don't care what anybody says.
Is it though, or is it more the fact that it was a bit meaningless in terms of the result literally didn't really matter? Even though you can spin reasons to why it would matter, ultimately, results matter more when they're going to change the direction of a league title or
totally
a relegation or positions in the league. People can say, oh, but Barry Ferguson would have beat Rangers twice, or Celtic could have ended on a high. Celtic are league champions, they're going to end on a high regardless. I mean, if Celtic could win this game, Rangers could have beat Celtic 5-0, and who gets the last laugh anyway?
Chris Sutton asked Robbie Savage on the 606 phone-in, who has the Glasgow bragging rights? He was asking the question if Rangers had them.
And I had the team with the trophies.
And Robbie Savage replied, well, Celtic do, because they're champions. And Sutton went, I thought I'd just put that out there. He's a fucking wanker of a man. There you go.
Imagine Savage said Rangers.
Yeah. No, but you know what it is, right? I actually made a fid on this, right? But see the Boyd and the Chris Sutton show, it's actually beginning to get to unbearable levels, right? See if Chris Sutton was on Sky Sports or TNT or whatever, or when sometimes he does like BBC or whatever. Say Man United, right? Say Man United beat Liverpool and drew with them, and therefore, technically, over the season, right? They had the bragging rights in the league because they picked up more points against Liverpool, and Liverpool picked up against them. Would he dare ask this question? Would he seriously, right, ask Gary Neville or Jamie Carragher who's got the bragging rights between Man City, or Man United or Liverpool this season? When Liverpool's won the league and United are 17th? Of course he fucking would.
No, he wouldn't.
And see, for a guy that I think does stick up for Scottish football, he doesn't half rip the piss at it.
Is he ripping the piss out of it though, or is he ripping the piss out of Rangers?
No, because he's treating the Scottish game with contempt. He's like, aha, look, Rangers, bragging rights. My point is, he would never do that with English football. He would never treat it like a joke, where, here, the Man United have the bragging rights because they've picked up 4 points against Liverpool, and Liverpool have picked up 1 against United. And that's hypothetical, because of course Liverpool, I think it's flipped. But it's a load of shite.
Yeah, no, anyone with a bit of sense would say, well, United may have picked up 4 points against Liverpool, but they're going to look at the league table. They're down in 16th, and it's going to be hurting them. Obviously, Liverpool's had the better season. So I get what you're saying. Like,
and he also said pre-match, Rangers are looking for a treble of wins, while Celtic are looking for a real treble. He said that on the Sky Sports coverage.
It'd be good if Aberdeen beat them, wouldn't it?
No, it would be good if Aberdeen beat them, but
my problem is I don't think it's going to happen.
No, but my problem is, it's like
the only Aberdeen victories we'll be seeing is in the Aberdeen career mode, guys. FC25. So go get liking it, go get subscribing it.
That's it. No, but I just think Sutton and Boy, it's getting unbearable. It genuinely feels like.
What would you say to the people that are saying Fog's getting unbearable?
Well, you know where the door is, don't you?
Don't let it hit you on the way out.
No, yo.
Anyway, let's talk.
But see, on this YouTube channel, right? We're not this billion-dollar company, right? That's going to keep it 100% professional.
You can say that again,
right? See, on Sky Sports, people pay a lot of fucking money a month.
Too much money.
I think it should be somewhat professional, and I feel like the coverage, especially with those two, is a fucking joke. I like banter. I love it.
I think we should poll that and see what people think of the Boyd Sutton, banter. See if they enjoy it or see if they think it's going too far. It'd be good to get some,
no, but
reflection on that.
You can't even have a game of football, right? Without the Old Firm involved, where you can't trust what they're saying because you just feel like they're going to be biased. It's like Sutton in the second half said Celtic dominated. No, that's a load of pish. Load of pish.
I tell you what, if that's Celtic dominating, then they're a shite team. If that is Celtic dominating a game, then they're not a great side, are they? If that's the best they've got, if that's them in complete control, if that's them dominating a second half, there wasn't much in it.
Yeah. Anyway, right into the game. The game was pish. Honestly, a draw does nothing. It needed to be a win for me, and it wasn't. So
good finish for Cyril Dessers, to be fair. Normally he misses a lot of chances. This game he pretty much didn't have any chances, didn't have any touches really. Minus a few. Up until the goal. I thought he'd done well with the goal. I know you're not a fan of Dessers, but I stated that this guy, just before half time, I stated that he is better than Adam Adair. Some people are saying that comment aged like milk because Adam Adair scored, but I'll argue that Dessers took his finish well, whereas Adam Adair scored a deflected shot. And you know what? Adam Adair could have put a fucking worldie into the top bins for about 45 yards. I'd still say Dessers is better. There you go. Simple as that.
So it doesn't matter what he does then.
No, it does. I'm basing on what he's done this entire season. And he's shite.
Yeah, I think they're both shite.
No, they are. But one cost a lot more, and one when he was signed was considered to be a fucking good signing for the club. I mean, everyone's pretty much said since day one when Dessers got a couple of games, they're like, this guy's pants. You know what I mean? People haven't really changed their mind. With Adam Adair, it's not until recently, probably around this 2025, where people began to open their eyes and realise, this guy's not that good. And I said it since day one. I was the original person. I swear, I was. Prove me wrong. Wasn't he Hugh Evans? I'll tell you that. He can pretend that he's been the guy saying it since since the very beginning. I was the guy that stayed it since the very beginning. Adam Adair's pish.
He is a bit shite. Know who's fucking the worst of the lot? Nick Walsh, right? He is
Well, but before we talk about Nick Walsh, I mean, Adam Adair had that good chance to score that goal just for Dessers. Got his opportunity, and that was a bad miss. He had the opportunity to play through James Forrest, and he completely under hit the pass. Was it decent for Balogun to get back and get a tackle on? Yes, but I mean, Adam Adair gave him the opportunity to.
Adam Adair had a Dessers game because, you know what, he had like 4 or 5 shots that were shite, but he scored with one of them.
Yeah, the deflected goal.
Yeah. He's no good enough. And you know what? People can say that we are so biased towards him, but I think it's the God's honest truth. See Celtic, right? Celtic are weaker with him up front than Kyogo or Maida through the middle. That is factual, right? And see if Celtic, for whatever reason, don't seem to
Get
want to...
Kyogo back.
No, but see if Celtic, for whatever reason, don't strengthen in the summer and they just stick with Adam Adair, I will be a very, very happy man.
Well, if that happens, then Dyson Maida's going to be the main man through the middle, isn't he?
Is he though? Maybe Johnny Kenny's going to be given the reins.
No.
Speaking of Johnny Kenny though, right? Nick Walsh, arsehole. So he didn't book bloody Callum McGregor for his 4,000 foils, but you know what he does? He books Barry because Barry can't get near him, and then he books two teenagers because he's a fucking shite baggy of man.
Aye, he had multiple chances to book McGregor. I mean, I guess Raskin could have been booked as well.
Yeah,
to be fair.
no. Are you telling me right that it took to the 84th minute of this game for a booking? Look, James Tavernier won the ball on the edge of the Celtic box. No, you remember?
Aye, and he gave
And then they went up and scored.
He gave a free kick for that.
Aye.
Wasn't his greatest game, was it?
No, but you know what? No, but this isn't. Oh, he's favouring Celtic or he's favouring Rangers or he's favouring whatever. He's just a shite referee. That's it.
Shite referee, shite game. 2 goals, 1 each, 1 for Rangers, 1 for Celtic. Dyson Maida, last chance, last kick of the game essentially. Tavernier gives the ball away. It came from that Igamani quick throw in. Maida should score soon, but I did learn that apparently he had just arrived back in Glasgow for Japan that day, or that morning, or that night.
What was he doing?
I don't know, his wife was giving birth or something.
Very good, Dyson Maida.
I think he needs to fly back over. They flew over to Japan to have birth over there, but it was like a false alarm. So he had to fly back over. I don't know if he arrived. I don't know when he arrived, whether it was Saturday night or Sunday morning.
So what you're saying is a jet lagged Dyson Maida still had Tav on toast?
Well, no, I don't think he really had Tav on toast. I think Tav had a decent game against Maida.
Just this glaring opportunity at the end.
Yeah, well,
Tav was ranked wrong.
No, hold on here. You're really going to blame Tav on that, man? I don't think
he fucking passed it straight to.
Yeah, but that's not Maida having them. Hold on, Tatty slid in, but that's not.
Am I going to blame Tav on that? Funny enough, I actually am going to blame Tav.
He made a mistake, but you're making it as if Dyson Maida fucking skinned him or something. I mean, Dyson Maida got in front of him and he wasn't catching him, that's for sure.
Tav's pish.
But you know what? I thought Dyson Maida had a poor game, and that probably sums up why. That explains why.
You know what, though? See if Celtic... See if Adam Adair was any good.
Has Adam Adair been flying for Japan every fucking game this season?
No, but see if Adam Adair was any good and they had someone better than James Forrest on the right, they would not have made him fly back.
No.
Like, they just wouldn't have.
Aye.
And you know what? I would even argue that's no right that they've made him fly back. The season's done.
Maybe the PFA Player of the Year awards as well. Maybe he had to be at that because he was going to win it.
Maybe.
Anyway, let's move on. Rangers 1, Celtic 1.
Right. Hibs bounce back 3-1. And
for me, this is the result that consolidates third place. I think Hibs will not be beaten now. 3 points in front of Aberdeen. Far superior goal difference to Aberdeen. 6 points in front of Dundee United. And in fact, Dundee United, I think, need to be looking over their shoulder. They're 5 in front of St Mirren. They've got to play St Mirren. I would probably back St Mirren to beat Dundee United right now. And if St Mirren can bring it down to 2, then who knows what will happen.
St Mirren are at Parkhead, but...
When? Next?
I don't know. But what I would say is... if they get it to 2, I think it might be the last game of the season. Because Celtic, I think they took one end. Celtic.
Well, I mean, if you say to St Mirren here, you'll be 2 points behind Dundee United going into the last game of the season at Parkhead. They'd take that, wouldn't they? Just to have a chance.
Either way, I'm not really bothered who gets finishes 5th between them. I think either team will do all right in Europe. But 3-1 Hibs here. Dwight Gale, Martin Boyle, a couple of oldies in there.
I think Dundee United have been good, but they have dropped off the boil, haven't they? I can't sit here and praise them too much. And I don't think it's a recent drop-off. I think they've dropped off ever since they overtook Aberdeen to go into 3rd.
Aye.
But Aberdeen and Dundee United, I think, have both been pretty poor since then, but they've coasted off the fact that they had a huge lead. Hibs should never been able to catch up to them.
Well, at the weekend, Hibs play Celtic, and then Aberdeen are also in Glasgow, so I tell you what.
So if Dundee United win, they give themselves a chance. They're back in the battle for 3rd.
It's double-edged sword.
But if Dundee United lose, then they really...
So it could be all over. But anyway, 1-0 St Mirren. Surprised, to be honest. I thought Aberdeen...
No, I predicted St Mirren.
Well, I predict Aberdeen. I thought Aberdeen would beat Hibs.
Aberdeen fans not happy with Jimmy Teelan.
I don't blame them. He was the saviour.
I mean, he had some good grace in the bank after that good start, but...
That's gone.
May
as well not even happen. Could have had a bang average season.
I think he'll be sacked next season. I think this time next season, I don't think he'll be the Aberdeen manager.
Okay, right. Dundee 1, Motherwell 2. Some dodgy decisions in this game.
Yeah, Portales getting a second goal that was close to being identical to his first, and it got ruled out. Fair to say that.
For what reason?
Tony Docherty was not happy.
Don't fucking blame the guy. Joker decision.
I think he gave it for offside, did he not? Like interfering.
Damn no. I didn't look too bad to me.
Anyway, Motherwell got back into the game with Sparrow, and then
what kind of name's fucking Johnny Contrumpus?
I don't know. And then they got a late winner through Tawanda Masanawanis.
Aye, Lennon Miller picked up a booking as well, but Dundee, they love scoring, but they love conceding. That keeps them 10th, right?
I think they'll be alright though, but Motherwell making sure that they will be in the Premiership next season.
Absolutely right. Speaking of making sure you'll be in the Premiership next season, Hearts won. Look what happens when you play Lawrence Shankland through the middle.
Crazy that, isn't it? You know what I mean? You play Shankland up front as a striker and the guy scores goals. It's almost like we'd seen that in the previous 2 seasons, and for some reason they didn't stick with it. But anyway,
I'm not saying Shankland can't work through as a cam, because I think when Kabunga was firing in goals, it did kind of work for some games, but when Hearts have been struggling to score, why not just play this guy through the middle? I think Neil fucking Critchley, folks. That's why.
I think that Shankland, to be fair, Naismith was doing it as well, was he not? He was.
Yeah, but Neil Critchley doesn't need to copy him, does he?
No, that's very true.
Why would you copy the guy that didn't 1 in 20?
After all this, I actually believe that Shankland will be at Hearts next season.
No Rangers, eh?
No. I think
the ship is shield.
I think it's worked out bad for Shankland, and I think it's worked out good for Hearts because, I mean, he has not moved. He didn't accept a pre-contract in January. Hearts offered him a very good deal that I believe would have made him one of the highest paid players in Hearts history, and he didn't take it. It was like 5 figures, and he didn't take it. And now that contract's done because of how poor he's been. So even if he does get another contract...
I thought it was more than what Craig Gordon was getting back in the day.
Probably not, no. But even if he does stay at Hearts now, I highly doubt the club's going to offer him the contract they were offering him back in... Was it like before January? Back in like November, December? So, we'll see. But I do think that Shankland will... I think he'll be at Hearts next season.
Yeah, I don't know where he'll be, but I don't think he'll be at Rangers.
I think the fact that a combination of him being so poor in the 49ers deal, to me that rules him out of Rangers. Even how poor he's been and the lack of goals, if this 49ers deal wasn't happening, I could definitely see Rangers signing him for free.
I think it depends, right, who takes the Rangers job. I think if Barry took the Rangers job...
You'd maybe get him?
Yes.
But if it's a foreign manager...
Not a chance. I think if Gerrard even gets the job, Gerrard might be like, well, that's smart business getting him.
Yeah.
But...
I mean, as a foreign manager, probably wouldn't even...
Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, he's not going for a long Shankland, is he?
He's not, damn it. Anyway, final game. Aye. Jose. Well, 2-0, good night.
Yeah, so Johnson now... Yeah, what happened to that? Jose Katongo, I wonder if they're fell in it.
He's not on there.
Anyway,
Maybe the guy just got fucking sick of being wrong every Monday.
I know.
I would be.
To talk the same old shite to you and Cameron.
I know.
Anyway, St Johnstone now, Kilmarnock too.
Take care of the beef,
Disappointing here. I actually thought St Johnstone would get a result. Kelly, not been great this season. Away from home, not too good either. But they got the win. David Watson, who was great last season, not so great this season, got the opener. Daniel Armstrong got the second. I still think St Johnstone have a chance because they've got Ross County to play in Perth. And if they can win that, the gap's down to 3. They probably will have the better goal difference if they turn the points around. And I think they've got an opportunity, but really what St Johnstone now need is Ross County to lose their last 3 games. But let's not pretend that can happen.
Of course it can.
I believe that St Johnstone's final 3 games are against County, Dundee and Hearts.
Yeah, the Hearts one's maybe Hearts will just let them win. Who knows?
If you offer St Johnstone 6 points right now, do you think they'd take it?
I think they do.
So you think they'd take that and hope that County just lose every game?
But the one of the 3 points has to be against County, you know what I mean?
No, well, obviously.
Makes no sense if it's against the other 2. Anyway, let's speak about the
I
other.
think St Johnstone's got it in their own hands, and the reason I say that is I believe that if they won their last 3 games and picked up 9 points, County ain't going to do better than that.
No, absolutely. You're right.
So I still think St Johnstone, if they want to stay up, they can do it.
No, absolutely. Right, so let's look here. Right, positioning. Celtic obviously still sit top. Rangers second, Hibs third, Aberdeen fourth, Dundee United fifth, St Mirren sixth. That's your top 6.
So Celtic on course for 94 points if they win their last 3 games. That would be a good points tally, especially considering that people have considered them to have a blip. At the halfway point.
2024 was so good. 2025 start, they did have that period where it was like they dropped points at like.
Yeah, but 94 points is still a really good points tally.
Of course it is.
And that's what Celtic can get. And that would be despite having a period of the season where people were going to say they fell off a bit.
On the other hand, Rangers' points tally is bogging.
Yeah, Rangers can only get 77, which would be garbage.
I wouldn't be surprised if Rangers don't even get into the 70 club, for fuck's sake.
I mean, 77, that's not going to win you a league title. I think that one year it may have. I think one of the seasons Aberdeen finished second, it may have been enough, but it's a poor points tally, isn't it?
No, it is. Absolutely. Look at Rangers' home. I mean, 12 wins for 2 draws, 3 losses. And every single one of those results we didn't pick up a win, apart from Dundee United in November, has came in like the last couple of games.
Yeah, I think that's purely because the Rangers were, at the beginning of the season, they were really good at home.
Yeah.
And then obviously that's kind of fallen away, but you look at their away form and it's just shocking, isn't it? Like, Jesus Christ.
Like, it's fucking ifs and buts. Like, we see all those games that Rangers have dropped points at Ibrox in the past couple of months. See, it's not even the away. The away form's bogging, don't get me wrong, but if you just actually turn those defeats and draws at home into wins, and you'd be way further ahead, but it doesn't work like that, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Ifs and buts. And then down the bottom, right, so Hearts, you want to finish 7th, don't you?
Don't really care, to be honest. It's just,
as long as it's no 11th.
As long as it's no 11th.
It can't be, so.
Yeah, Ross County.
It can be, but I don't think it will be.
I mean, Dundee, I guess, are still in this battle because they're only 2 points ahead, but I just don't see Dundee going down. I just don't see it. I think it will be County in 11th and St Johnstone in 12th. But if St Johnstone beat County, then it'll be a fun, definitely be a fun final few weeks. But nothing good for St Johnstone. Battle for third. I think Hibs have got that wrapped up. Aberdeen, I suspect will finish 4th. Just because I don't think Dundee United's form's good enough, and I don't really see them coming and overtaking them. St Mirren 5 points behind. They've given themselves a chance. Did they maybe need to beat Rangers? They might look back and that could be the game. I think looking at St Mirren, I remember saying that for St Mirren to get European football, they would probably need to win 4 at their last 5 games. And unfortunately didn't beat Rangers. So that tells me what St Mirren need to do is beat United, beat Hibs and beat Celtic. And I tell you what, if they can do that, then they deserve to be in Europe.
Well, Dundee United have to go to Ibrox, so
that's an easy 3 points for the Arabs, isn't it?
it might be. Anyway, folks, That's it. That's the SPFL review show. The last review show. Well, 4 leagues because they're all over. Playoffs do begin tonight, so might review that. What do you call that game? Particular.
That's the one.
Might review that later on, but I can't believe this season's near over. I think it's flying. Fucking glad, by the way, because it's been shite. But
roll on next year.
Roll on next year. Will it be any better than this year? It has to be. You gotta believe.